Hey folks, welcome back. Triple Crown here, coming to you from Vancouver, British Columbia. This is going to be a quick video of a little update from our last play test. And we are trying to get the game to you as quick as we can. And some play testing still has to be done. And in order for us to do that, we are deciding to at least postpone the introduction of the research and development rules, which would be an optional rules anyway, because we are not going to have time to play test that. However, one of the research and development rules was specifically something the United States had in World War II, and I think it's valid, or needs to be, as a special ability for the United States forces, because it did play what I would say a significant role in World War II. And what was that technology? Or what was it? Well, that was the Seabees. So this is a Seabees token, which you can get at HBG. So how are the Seabees going to work? Well, the Seabees were a unit that was trained by the US Marines, and they were basically tradespeople, people with skill, people that could get stuff done. And they played a critical role, actually, in almost all of the theaters in World War II, in the Atlantic as well as the Pacific. But they are, I think, well known for the Battle of the Guadalcanal, where the US Marines came in and the Seabees were able to secure or build or repair the airfields. So when the Americans were going into the Pacific and doing their island hopping campaign, their naval units had the cover of air. And that was significant for the Americans, because navies, as they discovered after the Taranto raid and the battle for Hawaii, the Tora Tora Tora, a surprise attack by the Japanese, that aircraft was the way to go if you're trying to take out Navy. So the Seabees erected airfields as quick as they could. So how is this going to impact the game? Well, what we are saying is the start of the American turn, they have the option of buying the Seabees token for 5 IPP. This represents an airbase. So how this is going to work: so you purchase your token at the start of your turn. You're buying a Seabees token. America is declaring an attack here on the Marshall Islands. So they're going to declare that attack. They're going to declare all of their attacks. And simultaneously, they are going to place the Seabees token down, indicating, and they can only do this once per turn, that if they are successful in the attack of Marshall Islands, they will be able to get an airbase for 5 IPP, so which they've already prepaid for. So the Americans come in with these naval transports, bringing these ground units in, and they are successful in that battle. So this territory becomes American. The Japanese are defeated, and this territory now gets an airbase. Well, what does that mean? Why is it significant? Well, it's significant because now there's an airbase. This US Navy here is able to come across to protect the naval transports that just came, because they know this Japanese fleet here has a pretty strong counterattack, and these Americans probably would get wiped out if they did not have the cover of a scramble. And these aircraft coming over from Midway to now land on the newly captured Marshall Islands. So these aircraft are coming in for the scramble. Their Navy is now protected by the cover of this airbase. And so that's how that's going to work. Now, this could be advantageous if these aircraft are going to leapfrog and maybe make it down to Sydney or somewhere else, or over into mainland China or into Russia. And so we wanted to get this element into the game because historically accurate. I think it's pretty cool. Now, if the Americans, let's just pretend for a second here that they were not successful in the attack of Marshall Islands, so the Japanese repelled the amphibious attack. The Americans were not successful. The Seabees token was used and the Americans lost that ability for this round. So that's how that works, folks. Going to conclude here, quick video, and a special shout out here to my good friend Bill Calloway. And just learned this recently that his grandfather actually was part of the Seabees in World War II. And so that's very cool. I know it means a lot to me that when my grandfathers, their contribution in the Second World War, hilltop pillbox, same for him, and I'm sure the same for you folks. So it was very important to me when I learned that, and it did have something to do with my decision to make sure that these very important Seabees unit or task force had a role in Global War 1939. So thank you, Mr. Calloway, grandfather of Bill, for your role and as being part of the Seabees task force in World War II. So thanks for watching, folks, and stay tuned.